This was 90 minutes that encapsulated Rangers so far this season, and may set the tone for the coming weeks and months. It was better, but it wasn't good enough. There was a spell of pressure in the first half and a sluggish start to the second. There were moments to offer encouragement, but the mistakes were punished once again. From minute to minute, match to match, Rangers remain consistently inconsistent. The complete performance continues to evade them, but it must be found, and maintained, sooner rather than later if second spot is to be secured this season. Read more. Graham Dorran's mistakes at either end of the park cost Rangers dear against Celtic. In truth, that is where Pedro Caixinha's side are. Individually and collectively, they are an improvement on the squad that Mark Warburton built and left behind and that Caixinha revamped over the summer. They are a million miles, and several £1 million, away from being champions, though. Only time will tell if they will even be best of the rest at the second attempt. That is the fight that Rangers are in once again. Celtic may be their old firm foes, but it is Aberdeen who are their Premiership rivals this term. Read more. Rangers manager Pedro Caixinha squared up to Celtic coach John Kennedy in the Ibrox tunnel. The gap to Brendan Rodgers' side already stands at 8 points after they added another 3 to their tally with victory at Ibrox. But it is the golfing quality, both in the team and the squad, that is the most alarming concern for Caixinha and the Light Blues board, as they reflect on another derby defeat. Now, attentions will turn to a run of fixtures that could define Rangers' season. It could also make or break the manager. Celtic are the yardstick by which any Rangers boss will always be judged, but the matches with the champions are only part of the problem for Caixinha at present. His side have now dropped points in 4 of the 7 Premiership fixtures they have played, and they have picked up just 4 more than Hamilton Accies, who they face on Friday evening at the Super Seal Stadium. Read more. Nacho Novo confident Rangers will get better with time this term after suffering a Old Firm defeat. Caixinha pointed out on Saturday that he never claimed Rangers could challenge at the top this term, and few inside or outside of Ibrox would have expected Rangers to put up any kind of fight for the title. The Portuguese will, though, take it game by game, and he demanded a response from his side to the latest setback that they have suffered. The opening handful of fixtures this term all looked winnable for Rangers, but the defeat to Hibernian and draws with Hearts and Partick Thistle are just as costly, in terms of the table, as the 20 reverse at Ibrox on Saturday. The improvement, in both the scoreline and the way Rangers competed overall, from the 5-1 humiliation that Caixinha's side suffered back in April was clear. The Shares got off lightly that day, though, and they arguably did so this time as well. Read more. Rangers can take positives from Celtic clash, says Peter Löwenkrantz. Caixinha had learned the lessons from his previous meeting with Rodgers' side, and it was a far more pragmatic approach from the Portuguese as he fielded a midfield 5 and utilised Alfredo Morelos as a lone striker. But Rangers still failed to suppress Celtic's attacking threats too often, and it was only their profligacy that ensured the Ibrox scoreboard didn't tick over as regularly. If different choices had been made, if different passes had been played, the goals from Tom Rogic and Lee Griffiths, both of which came from mistakes from Rangers, may not have been the only ones on the day. Rangers' cause wasn't helped by the injuries to Bruno Alves and Lee Wallace, of course. While youngster Ross McCrory put in an admirable performance, although he will be disappointed with his part in both goals, Lee Hodgson found the going tough at left-back. Read more. Chris Jack. Last Thursday should be the final date on the Rangers EBT timeline after SPFL review U-turn in midfield. Carlos Peña never looked like making his presence felt as he produced another ineffectual performance. It was no surprise the Mexican was the first one to be replaced when Rangers needed an extra attacking threat. Few of the opportunities that Rangers carved out were clear-cut, as Morelos couldn't connect with James Tavernier's cross and Josh Windass fired wide from range. The best of the lot fell to the Colombian, but his header was straight at Craig Gordon as he made an instinctive reaction save. The call not to award Morelos a penalty after Josu Simunovic's clumsy challenge early on could well go in the against column on the list that Caixinha is compiling. It was just one decision of many by referee Craig Thompson that infuriated the Ibrox crowd on an afternoon where nothing went right for their side. Many would have made the trip fearing the worst, but the nightmare didn't become a reality once again. They can take no satisfaction from that, though, as they come to terms with a 6th defeat in 7 Old Firm encounters. Read more. Graham Doran's mistakes at either end of the park cost Rangers dear against Celtic. This was further confirmation of how far behind Celtic they are and the size of the task that Caixinha has on his hands as he attempts to close the gap both on the field and in the standings. The Portuguese kicked every ball on the touchline as he gesticulated and roared his side on throughout the game. His efforts proved in vain. Even when Rangers raised their game for spell in the first half, there was always the feeling that Celtic could have gone through the gears if required. Amidst the Old Firm madness in the stands, Celtic were fairly comfortable throughout. As Caixinha's side continue to settle into life at Ibrox, there may well be further improvements found. Rangers need to take a big step forward to be able to challenge at the top, but steady gains should prove beneficial against the rest of the league. The next Old Firm examination doesn't arrive until the end of the year. Rangers have plenty of significant tests to pass before then.